Video cassette. Doug Ramsey, NBC News, New York.
And that's the news. Jane?
Thank you, Bob Jameson. Willard Scott with the weather. I am told that I may not necessarily get a Willard Scott. That's either that's Waggedy Willard or Raggedy Ann.
Hey, Jane, I'm here with my three favorite women in the whole world this morning. There's one, I'm Raggedy Ann, and isn't she beautiful? And you're the other one, of course. But the third one, the queen of this parade, the lady responsible for this whole operation. They had to go to Texas to find somebody big enough, strong enough, and smart enough to handle it. Jean McFadden, I love you.
Oh, thank you, Willard. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You realize this is our 60th parade?
I think it's fabulous. The NBC's, I think, had it for 35 years.
That's right. It's great partnership, and what a show.
And this is your job now. How wired are you right
now? Oh, I am so excited. I mean, the sun's shining on me. Good weather, thanks to you.
Weatherman never failed.
I tell you, this is my day.
What were you thinking about last night around 5?
I was worried about you. I thought you know, it really got me. But then you came through, and
I'm a Baptist. You got to believe.
That's right.
Well, now this afternoon it doesn't end when the parade's over 12.
No, sir. It really just, after we finish the parade, we're going to be going with the mayor of New York to visit 6 of our policemen who were injured, taking Santa Claus along, and we expect this day just to be one of Thanksgiving all around the country.
When can Jean McFadden go home and have a turkey? What do you have? Going to have a turkey?
That'll be a little later, and that turkey comes tomorrow when all of this cast and crew who make the parade happen will have a big Thanksgiving Day lunch out at our parade studio.
And I'll bet when you go home tonight, you're going to have a big, good, strong, tall glass of Lipton tea.
That's right, and stretch my feet out.
I love you, and happy parade.
Thank
Again,
you.
One of the great ladies in New York City, Jean McFadden. She's going to hire me just as soon as I get thrown out of the air. Okay, let's check it out and see what's happening for Thanksgiving Day. The truth is, it's a beautiful Thanksgiving Day for almost 3/4 of the country, maybe 5/5 of the country, except for one little tiny fifth, and that would be up in the extreme northwest. We have the northwest Pacific coast with gales along the coast, heavy rains along the coast, inland snows up to 6 to 12 inches, not just in the mountaintops, but in the passes in some cases. That is the one spot in the country, along with the Gulf Coast from East Texas on across to Pensacola. As the day wears on, more Gulf moisture is going to produce yet another wet weather system in the southeast. Tomorrow, a lot of rain in the southeast again. But for the most part, mild temperatures, going to be 60 here in New York. What you see is what you get. Here's what's happening in your world this morning.
Brad says we can look forward to a beautiful Thanksgiving. Sunny to partly cloudy skies, highs 42 to 48, winds from the southwest at 15 miles per hour.
And we mentioned our pick city of the day. It happens to be beautiful Phoenix, Arizona at about 78 degrees. And Rose Pargo of Somerset, New Jersey, happy 101st birthday from Macy's Day Parade here at 77th Street, Central Park West. Now back to our studios downtown, and here's our Jane.
Garfield doesn't look like he's had his breakfast yet. Because many people wish they didn't get as much mail as they do. Quite a lot of it gets thrown out unopened. And that has spawned a lot of attention-getting envelopes. If those loud cries of open me don't bother you, they do bother Betty Furness, who will illustrate her point. Betty, good morning.
Good morning, Jane. It's getting harder every day, envelope-wise, to tell where attention-getting leaves off and misleading or even deceptive begins. An envelope that tells me this is my red letter day is mistaken. Previous experience tells me the diamond ring its contents say I've won is not worth the $6.90 for postage and handling. But what about a telegram? Remember when a telegram was sent by Western Union and delivered by a live person to your door? My dictionary says a telegram is a message that's sent by telegraph. Not this one. It came by mail. And it invited me to attend a car and truck sale at my local Mitsubishi dealer. Western Union says the word telegram became generic because they never copyrighted it, so anyone can use it. I asked the man who did copyright that envelope why he did it. He said, geez, I don't know, it demands attention. How about a lettergram? The dictionary says it is a telegram sent at a reduced rate as a day letter or night letter. Wrong again. This self-claimed high-priority communication came by mail for 8 cents. A teledispatch, also by mail, wants me to renew a magazine subscription. If these things aren't coming through the air by wire, are they coming by plane? Not this Air Express. It came neither by air nor express. It's bulk mail, so it came by truck or train. The same is true of a jet express. That one's from a senator. The envelope also says extremely urgent letter enclosed. It was an appeal for money, perhaps urgent for the senator, less so for the recipient. A cablegram didn't come from overseas. It came from Hackensack, New Jersey, and was a plea from another politician. Send money. The suffix gram is very big on envelopes. A memogram is another magazine subscription renewal. At least the AT&T gram and the Bell gram give you an immediate clue that they're phone company business. I needn't tell you they're both selling something. There's an envelope from Washington that looks like an official government letter. Urgent, important Social Security and Medicare information enclosed. The National Committee to Preserve Those Benefits is a lobbying organization. The envelope is designed to frighten older people, and probably does. This envelope, postmarked Washington, says medical information enclosed. Please respond in 12 days, and it's from the Office of the Executive Director. It's actually from the People's Medical Society in Emmaus, Pennsylvania, part of the Rodale Press. A spokesman said they used the official-looking envelope because there was very important information enclosed, which he described to me. It wasn't enclosed, but a membership enrollment form was, really a subscription for a newsletter, $15, please. There's nothing that can be done to stop this blood pressure-raising practice. The Postal Service says as long as the senders don't use their official language, special delivery, registered, certified, the urgent messages don't concern them. But you can rest assured that when an envelope says open immediately, priority, or urgent, you can let it cool a while. The urgency's the sender's, not yours.
Why don't they just stamp wolf on the outside and cry wolf? Fortunately,
I like it.
no mail will be coming today. Have a happy Thanksgiving,
Thank
Betty.
you, Jane. You too.
We'll be back in a moment and talking about the growing and alarming numbers of Americans who have no home and no food today. But first, this is Today on NBC.
No matter how well you play the game, a lot of moves can be made against you. The same thing is true in the financial world. That's why Colonial Savings has worked so hard to build the kind of independent reserve strength necessary to protect against the unknown. When it comes to selecting a financial institution, be sure to look beyond the obvious. We're dedicated to serving your financial needs. Colonial Savings, still setting the pace with quality customers, quality service, quality employees.
7 a.m. tomorrow. Pranges will open early 7 a.m. tomorrow for an after Thanksgiving Day sale. It's the biggest shopping day of the year with savings on hundreds of items throughout the store. Be one of the first 500 customers and receive a $10 coupon good with purchases of $20 or more. There's 90-day deferred billing. See our newspaper insert for more details. Pranges after Thanksgiving Day sale starts 7 a.m. tomorrow and continues with special store hours Saturday 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Pranges.
Find Teaching Teddy again.
I'm Teaching Teddy, and your kids will find me in VideoSmarts.
Find the space with the letter B. Right.
That kid's great. With your TV, a VideoSmarts Talking Kids computer, and VideoSmarts VHS cassettes, learning is fun. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The longer your kids play the new VideoSmarts learning system, the better they learn.
Gee, Poppy, I didn't know you were that smart. Me neither. W, X, Y, Z.
For Christmas treasures, give a gift of the heart. Wrap her in fur. The happiest of holidays are at Furs by Truesdell, Berlin. Open Sundays.
A record number of Americans will be looking for food and shelter today, while most of us are feasting on turkey and football. On After 8 this morning, what can be done to stop the swelling numbers of homeless? Delphin Quesada is one of 8,000 homeless people in Miami, a city that doesn't provide any public money for the homeless. Delphin, an Army veteran, will spend this day walking the streets, and tonight he will line up at one private shelter or another in that city, hoping to get a Thanksgiving meal, or perhaps one of the few available beds for the homeless.
People out there, I see them saying prayers themselves, hoping they can get in because they only have so many beds here. You know, and they might be eligible to get in, but they just their luck might not be running good that day. They just can't get in because they don't have availability for enough beds for the amount of people that do want to get in. So it's discouraging to a lot of people. A lot of people come up here and line up ahead of time, hours ahead of time, hoping their chances are better. It's scary, yeah.
Tell me.
But it makes you depressed, really, because you can't see yourself getting ahead. And the older you get, it's harder, you know.
We are joined now by Brother Paul Johnson, director of Camilla's House, a shelter in Miami run by the Catholic Little Brothers of the Good Shepherd. He joins us from his shelter. Also, we're joined by Mayor Raymond Flynn of Boston, who is chairman of the U.S. Mayor's Task Force on the Homeless. Mayor Flynn joins us from our bureau in the city of Boston. Good morning, gentlemen, to you both.
Good morning.
Father Johnson or Brother Johnson, what happens to people like Mr. Quesada if they can't get a bed tonight? What happens to them?
Well, they'll have to spend the night on the street, Thanksgiving night on the street, perhaps sleeping on a piece of cardboard or in a cardboard box or under a viaduct or somewhere like that.
Is there a chance that they might be arrested? That happens, doesn't it?
Yes, Miami does have the vagrancy law, and they can be picked up and taken to jail for being homeless.
What should the city, in your view, be doing?
Well, we have a metropolitan form of government in Miami, and the city says that it's the county's responsibility, and neither one of them are addressing the issue. So I think that as it gets greater and as more people, we have now 8,000 people in Miami, possibly 10,000 homeless people in Miami. As the numbers grow, I hope that they'll have to address the issue.
In Boston, Mayor Flynn, what is a city's responsibility to the homeless?
Well, the city, the state, and the private shelter community have really provided a great deal of teamwork effort in providing shelter and food for our city's homeless and our Commonwealth's homeless. But you know, the more it seems that we do, because of the lack of federal attention, particularly in the area of subsidized housing, the greater the problem becomes. This is an American tragedy of homelessness in America. With a $4 trillion gross national product, and a great city like a great country like America can't take care of its homeless and its hungry, that's a rather sad commentary on our society. And I'm glad to say that in Boston and in Massachusetts, we're taking the lead. We're accepting the responsibility for providing shelter for our city and state's constituency who are homeless.
What about the federal government? Does the federal government have a role here, or should it be left to the states and to the cities?
No, it's federal government has really walked away, particularly the president. There are three major reasons for homelessness in America. One, the loss of federal subsidy for housing, 75% reduction in housing money since 1981 to the present time. That's unconscionable. That's the real number one issue, is lack of affordable housing. Number two, the federal emergency money. The president had his way, that program would be totally eliminated. And number three, on a local level, it's deinstitutionalization, where people were released from mental facilities with no community setting. But the major cause of growing homelessness in America is the federal government.
Brother Johnson, aren't you concerned down there in Miami that if the city starts providing public shelters and food and bedding, you've got a lovely temperature down there, it's nice and warm in the wintertime, it's good for people who don't have much money. Aren't you concerned that Miami might become the Mecca for the homeless?
Well, that is a concern. It certainly is, but I still don't think that gives us the excuse or good enough excuse to do nothing for the homeless in Miami. I doubt that Miami could ever have as many homeless people as Los Angeles or New York.
What are you going to be doing today, and how many people will you be taking care of there at your shelter?
Well, we are providing the traditional Thanksgiving meal. We'll probably be serving 1,000 people or more here in Miami who otherwise would not have the beautiful Thanksgiving meal.
Mayor Flynn, these people, who are they? Are they alcoholics? I know it's a mixture there, but the one disturbing fact that I read is there are a lot of people that have mental problems that more of them are on the streets now than before and are homeless.
There's no question about it. The deinstitutionalization, people who are mentally ill homeless is a factor. But let me tell you what the United States Conference of Mayors concluded in their study, of which I'm the chair, and we'll be updating that report and making it again, releasing it again in Washington in January, is the growing number of homeless families in our country. And there's a principal reason for it. It shouldn't come as a surprise to any American. When you look at a budget of the federal government that has been cut by 75% for subsidized housing for families in America since 1981, it leads you to one inescapable conclusion, and that is that there are going to be more families who are going to be out in the street without the necessary funds to pay for housing. And that's the #1 reason. So we shouldn't really categorize the homeless problem in America as alcoholics or deinstitutionalized alone. It is growing families of homelessness in America.
Mr. Mayor, thank you for being with us. And Brother Johnson, you've given us a lot to think about on this Thanksgiving Day. Thank you again. This is Today on NBC.
When it comes to comfort, fit, and performance in skis and ski fashion, come to the Ski Inn in Neenah or Janice in Appleton. And when it comes to comfort, fit, and performance in ski boots, come to Nordica. More skiers come to Nordica than any other ski boot. Janice on West College in Appleton, the Ski Inn at 125 Wisconsin in downtown Neenah, and Nordica, setting the standard higher.
A shimmering diamond is a symbol of love that lasts forever. At C.W. Smith Jewelers in North Fond du Lac, you can choose from the area's largest selection of fascinating styles. Shop in a relaxed atmosphere, away from the high-cost shopping areas. Let our location be your savings. Our professionals can guide you in selecting the diamond or gem that's perfect for your special love. Give a gift that will always be remembered. From C.W. Smith Jewelers in North Fond du Lac. Open evenings till Christmas.
Looking for music? Well, listen to this. Shopper said the music that you can't resist. Hard as a rock or soft as a kiss. And the low, low price, man, you just can't miss.
$5.99 at Shopko for Ricky Skaggs' Love's Gonna Get Ya on Epic. And Out Among the Stars, Pure Heaven from Merle Haggard on Epic. Plus Willie Nelson's nifty release Partners on Columbia. Shopko priced $5.99 each. Shopko's got the music that you can't resist.
Christmas treasures, give a gift of the heart. Wrap her in fur. The happiest of holidays are at Furs by Truesdell, Berlin. Open Sundays.
And still to come in the next half hour, Pat Mitchell talks to some farm wives, women who have a home but are struggling to save it. We'll be back after station break.
Start your Thanksgiving Day with an American tradition. Join Pat Sajak and Stephanie Kramer for the 60th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving. It's currently 24 degrees outside and clear. This is NewsCenter 11 today, and here's what's happening. A press release and some answers are expected later on this morning from the Waupaca County Sheriff's Department. Late last night, sheriff's deputies apprehended a man who apparently matches the description of a suspect wanted in a Waupaca bank robbery. That crime occurred just a few days ago. We'll have more information as it becomes available. The doctor who transplanted a human heart into a 38-year-old Gary, Indiana man says the man may be able to return home by Christmas. Dr. Alfred Tector says Ronald Smith's potential return home depends on his recovery and how hard his immune system fights to reject the new organ. Doctors implanted the heart during a 3.5-hour operation that began late Tuesday night at St. Luke's Hospital in Milwaukee. Smith had been kept alive thanks to a mechanical heart for 4.5 days. Officials from the University of Wisconsin say a new budget would slash enrollment and would cut course selections and staff. System President Kenneth Shaw said yesterday that the budget, expected to be released tomorrow, would call for an enrollment reduction of 16,000 students, even with the sharp tuition increase included in an earlier proposal. The new package is in response to Governor-elect Tommy Thompson's request that all state agencies submit a budget that is 5% less than current levels. A temporary tightening of Green Bay's gun control ordinance will last longer than expected. The City Protection and Welfare Committee last night passed a resolution effectively extending the December 1st expiration date on the firearm discharge ban. The City Council adopted the temporary legislation last week in a last-minute attempt to tighten gun control restrictions before the gun deer hunting season. The temporary measure didn't extend through all hunting seasons because its authors expected the City Council to make the ordinance permanent shortly after the deer gun hunt. But members didn't want to enact anything permanent until they had a chance to hear from the public on the issue. And when we come back, we'll take a look at the holiday forecast.
News Center 11 today is brought to you by the Northeastern Wisconsin Dodge dealers.
We're right on the money.
The all-new Dodge Dakota is right on the money. And right now, for a limited time only, you can get low 3.9% financing or $500 cash back on any new Dodge Dakota in stock. That's 3.9% financing or $500 cash back on the first true mid-size pickup ever made, Dodge Dakota. Only at the Dodge Boys.
We're right on the money.
See the Dodge Boys right now.
I'll get Mother something special for Christmas, Karen.
You'll warm her heart with a soft, cuddly nightgown in a pretty pastel. On sale now at Shopko for just $8.99.
Toasty, but I can spend a bit more.
There are a lot of great gifts at Shopko's big 3-day sale, like warm velour robes to match the gowns, sale priced at just $17.99.
I'll get Mother each and every one.
Shopko, the right place for Christmas.
And here's a look at the current condition. Also, Brad's AccuWeather forecast for this Thanksgiving Day. Clear skies. We currently have 24 degrees. The humidity is at 92%. The winds are from the southwest at 10 miles per hour. The barometer's at 30.05 and is falling. And here's the way the AccuWeather forecast looks for this holiday. Thanksgiving, beautiful sunshine and perhaps a few clouds scattered in there. Highs will be from 42 to 48 degrees and winds will be from the southwest at around 15 miles per hour. Tonight, some patchy clouds moving into the area. Lows 24 to 30, winds coming from the west at around 8 miles per hour. And here's a look at some of the stories you'll see tonight at 6. More information on that Waupaca County arrest. And of course, we'll show you some of the Thanksgiving holiday activity. All over northeast Wisconsin, the preparations for the big feast have begun. And in his 11 special report, Hoopin' with the Flyers, Mark Ewing will show us what it's like to play ball in the CBA. For those stories and much more, join us tonight at 6. I'm Helen Worcester. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday.
Where would you find a bargain like this slightly imperfect drop leaf table for just $142.75? At M. Shuttle Freight Sales in Home Center, Oshkosh. Where else?
Kohl's wishes you a happy Thanksgiving and an even happier after Thanksgiving. There'll be great savings at Kohl's this Friday and Saturday. Save $3 to $10 on Missy's and Junior's novelty sweaters. And for men, Bay Area Traders Shetland sweaters are now half price. Save this Friday and Saturday, but shop Friday only for extra special after Thanksgiving bonus buys. Nobody brings quality and value home to you like Kohl's.
For Christmas treasures, give a gift of the heart. Wrap her in fur. The happiest of holidays are at Furs by Truesdell, Berlin. Open Sundays.
Come home to 11 WLUK TV.
And we're back with well, hi.
Happy Thanksgiving!
To the people who, unbelievable as it sounds, run this program.
They're all dry for a change this morning.
Well, those are all the people. They all had to work Thanksgiving, too. John and I did. Bryant has a day off, and he deserves it. In this half hour, Pat Mitchell will be here. She's talking to 4 farm wives, women who are struggling to keep the family farm in the family, so to speak.
Robert Warren has been in the music business for a long, long time. Composer, lyricist, arranger. He's been in the business for better than a half a century, and he'll be with us in this half hour to talk about and to play from his new album of songs. That should be fun.
And Diane Thomas is here with some first thing in the morning Thanksgiving ideas for your turkey. But first at the news desk, Bob Jameson.
Jane, the FBI this morning is reportedly investigating whether Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North destroyed documents connected with the U.S. sale of arms to Iran. The Los Angeles Times reports that Oliver shredded papers that may have indicated whether others were involved in the case. North was ousted this week from his job with the National Security Council. In the Philippines, an agreement on a 60-day ceasefire was signed this morning. The agreement reached between the government and the communist guerrillas. Both sides hope the ceasefire could lead to a longer break in the guerrilla war, which has lasted for 17 years in the Philippines. Israeli warplanes bombed suspected Palestinian targets in Lebanon this morning, according to the Israeli military. In Tel Aviv, the military command says the jets destroyed artillery and rocket bases near Sidon. West Germany this morning expelled 5 Syrian diplomats, this the day after a court implicated Syria in a West German bombing. The Bonn government also said its ambassador to Syria, whose assignment ended this month, will not be replaced anytime soon. When 2 Palestinians were convicted Wednesday in that bombing, the court also said Syria was involved. The governor of New Mexico says capital punishment is inhumane and immoral, and he ensured Wednesday that no death row inmates will be executed in his state for as long as he's governor. More from NBC's Noah Nelson.
Execution. Citing his religious beliefs, New Mexico Governor Tony Anaya commuted the sentences of 5 men on New Mexico's death row.
For me to simply walk away now will make me as much an accomplice as others who would participate in their execution.
Anaya, who leaves office at the end of this year, vowed there would be no executions in his state while he was governor. The action has angered some, such as Governor-elect Gary Carruthers.
We should, and I will, uphold New Mexico's capital punishment law.
Yolanda Klein's husband was killed by one of the death row inmates.
I'm still surprised, and I'm still hurt that he had so little regard for the lives of the victims and for the victims' families, that he would simply commute these. And it's a real possibility the man who killed Jerry could be out on the streets.
Anaya's decision has gained the support of some church leaders, such as Santa Fe Archbishop Robert Sanchez.
An action such as the governor's is, in a sense, making a step in favor of life, its dignity and its sanctity.
None of the inmates at issue would be eligible for parole for at least 30 years. Noah Nelson, NBC News.
Firefighters on the island of Hawaii have been unable to divert the flow of lava pouring from the Kilauea volcano. On Wednesday, the lava spilled onto a highway, setting the asphalt on fire and knocking down power lines, burning everything in its path. 5 homes have been destroyed. Several others are threatened, but so far, no one has been injured. That's the news, Jane.
And thank you, Bob. Willard will have the weather in a moment, and then Pat Mitchell talks to some women who are trying to save the farm after a message.
When my granddaughter comes to visit, I stay calm, even if there's an accident. Spills are no problem, even pet stains, with the amazing Remington Vic Vac carpet stain cleaner. First, it vacuums up the stains. Then, with a special detergent and brush, its cleaning system gently dissolves and deodorizes fast. Vacuum again, and the stain is gone, leaving my carpet and my disposition spotless. The new rechargeable Remington Vic Vac treats stains like dirt.
That salon guy is so hot. Rap City. His friend's cute. You mean Ralph? I love brainy guys.
No one guy can be all things to all women, but one jean can. Chick. Only Chick jeans are shaped to fit a woman's body in 27 sizes.
I'm gonna get the blonde guy. But you hated blondes. She reconsidered.
Get Chick jeans on sale at Kmart and get a $5 rebate.
It's time we discuss the facts of recliners. Naked chairs. Sure, it's shocking. But better you see this than fall in love with a recliner that's not from Lazy Boy. Look, where this chair uses plywood and chopped foam, Lazy Boy uses double-doweled hardwood and solid foam. Don't get your heart broken. The Lazy Boy tag means beauty that lasts. Your parents never told you this stuff?
See your Sunday magazine for the Lazy Boy holiday sale.
For a final check of the Thanksgiving Day weather and a final preview of the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade about to begin, Willard Scott.
Hey, and I'm here with the General Electric Board of Directors. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
What a good... Let's hear for GE. Yeah. We got a group, the Skating Clowns, and you got... I know, I just said that. Don't mess up my act, lady. these guys and girls and boys and girls and dogs and cats.
Whatever.
How many years?
29 years in the Macy Parade.
Skating.
Skating.
They're on roller skates. You'll see in just a few minutes. What's your name?
Julie Ward.
You're going to go to dinner with me now, right?
Oh, certainly.
Aren't you the one that I promised if I got you on the air, you'd go to dinner? Oh, you!
Hi, Julie also.
We'll go to lunch. We'll go to dinner. All right. You and I will go to lunch. Let's check the weather act this morning, and then we'll skate with the clowns. As you can see here in New York, it is fantastic. It's going to be 60 degrees before the day is over. It is a perfect, I don't think in 60 years, and that's the anniversary, 60 years of this Macy's Day Parade, they've had better weather. And we're going to have, I think, 35 years for NBC, 60 degrees before the day is over. One of the weather problems in the country, one of the few, is the northwest Pacific coast. Gale winds along the coast, a lot of rain from Seattle down to Eureka, and some snow in the Cascades, not just in the mountaintops, but along the passes as well, 6 to 12 inches. Rain along the Gulf Coast will move inland and be a part of the southeastern rain pattern tomorrow as the day wears on. But I think the first half of the day down, say, New Orleans, Pensacola will be okay. Then it'll start to cloud up and rain. Anyway, most of the country is sensational today with above normal temperatures and abundance of sunshine. Here's what's happening in your world this morning.
Brad says we can look forward to a beautiful Thanksgiving. Sunny to partly cloudy skies, highs 42 to 48, winds from the southwest at 15 miles per hour.
And a very happy birthday, Reseda, California. Isaac Newman is 100 years old today. Happy birthday. Okay, clowns, let's go. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Flying sunshine. Okay. Superman and Superwoman. I'm going to need the Superwoman.
And a happy Thanksgiving to them all. Thanksgiving is, of course, a tradition of family feasts, a good time to consider the crises of certain families, families that own a farm, families that raise and grow much of the food you'll be enjoying today and every day. Pat Mitchell talked recently with 4 farm wives about their struggles to keep the family farm and the way of life it represents.
Faces of farm women, photographed in the 1930s, show the despair of the Great Depression when the American farm family was forced for the first time to leave the farm. Now, some 50 years later, the farm family is again in crisis, losing the battle against bad weather, falling crop prices, rising interest rates, unfavorable farm policy. We came to Sterling, Colorado, to the farm of Clifford and Naomi Benson to talk with farm wives about their fight to keep the farm and the family together. The farm Naomi and Cliff Benson live on has been in his family since 1909. Dutch and Mark Kingan are facing possible foreclosure on their farm in Muncie, Indiana. Joyce and husband Gerald have worked their farm in Great Falls, Montana for 25 years. Cindy Beck and her husband raise soybeans and peanuts in Pansy, Alabama.
If you could talk a little bit personally about your life as a farm wife. I mean, what was the attraction of it before? What did it mean to you as a woman, a mother, a wife?
You can work together, you do the hard work together, the easy work together, the save the baby calf in the basement work together, and it's very rewarding.
And you watch the hailstorm together, and you watch the grasshoppers together. I mean, let's be realistic about that forms a bond. I mean, it's a lot of fun when things are going real well. I mean, what's more fun than cutting a bumper crop?
Mm-hmm. And
the whole family out there. And what's more devastating than to see that entire crop gone in a matter of 5 minutes? But you are together.
Excuse me, I don't think we worry much about women's lib either on the farm because we all agreed that we're about as liberated as we really can stand to be, right?
Tell me what life is like now for you on this farm.
Well, I think it's different now than what it was a few years ago. I think we're living right now with a lot of uncertainty. Day by day, the prices of our grain, the prices of our cattle change, and you don't know if they're going how much farther down because they've been going down. So you're living with just a real uncertainty of what's going to happen, and so many things are influencing our lives on the farm now.
Like my husband says, it really isn't much fun to farm anymore. You can't plan for even, say, 5 years from now. And yet we have all of our debts, our farm land, our farm machinery on long-term loans. So we're put kind of in a real precarious situation.
Well, I think it puts stress on all of our families that none of us have really known before. And that uncertainty of knowing that, you know, a disaster, a bad weather year, or bad farm policy, 1 year, you know, could wipe you out. I mean, you just don't recover.
But most farm families don't know how, I mean, they farm. That's what they grew up knowing how to do. That's what they want to continue doing.
And that's what we've done best. We've actually fed this country very inexpensively for years. And I think that's the anger. We've done a good job, right? We've done an excellent job.
The best in the world.
The best in the world.
The family farm structure is the structure that is the most effective, the most efficient unit, and yet that's the one that is almost deliberately being destroyed.
What do you feel when you read reports of farm suicides, of the kind of violence that has cropped up in this country and the kind of absolute acts of desperation?
It sends cold chills up my spine, because I think, you know, that I know most farm families I know, they really do have an attachment to that. I mean, it's more than an economical thing. It goes much deeper than that, I know.
Everybody knows that they're a second away from it happening to them, too.
And I've had people ask, you know, well, if it's so bad, you know, why don't you get out? And I think something most people who are not on a farm don't realize is that you can't just jump out today. You know, it's a highly capital-intensive business. And today, I don't think one of us could sell our land and equipment and come out ahead.
Yeah. There are no buyers available. That may sound strange to someone in New York City, where it's going so many $1,000s per square foot, but land values are going down out here and no buyers available.
Well, suppose you do lose that now. I mean, how will you adjust to that if you did have to give up the life on the farm completely?
We're still kicking and struggling, fighting to try to avoid that type of decision. I suppose we are prepared to do other things, but it isn't something that we want to do, because this is our life.
I would hope that, like you mentioned before, if we lose the farm, we don't lose the family.
Farm wives have organized in order to get their message across about the importance of supporting American agriculture and the farm family. Their organization is called WIFE, W-I-F-E, Women Involved in Farm Economics. And the telephone number is 1-205-522-3639. We'll be back, John Palmer with composer Robert Warren, after message.
The age of battery flashlights is over. The first alert. Rechargeable flashlight. The powerful flashlight that never needs batteries. The first alert. Rechargeable flashlight.
Good morning, Mr. Field. Diagnosis: congestion, runny nose, sneezing, bad cold.
No kidding. Introducing the future of cold and allergy relief. New Contact 12-hour caplets. So advanced it helps stop the runny nose Sudafed can't and works twice as long as Actifed tablets. New 12-hour caplets. Perhaps nothing will ever beat Contact's relief.
You're welcome.
Until there's a cure, there's Contact.
Two with onion.
You got it. Hey, you truck!
Fujifilm gives you color pictures so true to life, it's a real breakthrough. Fuji's advanced technology has developed new Super HR film with ultra-thin color layers for sharp pictures with truer colors than we've ever had before. Get the newest breakthrough in color film, Fuji Super HR film, and get super breakthrough pictures.
Is it time yet?
Oh, it's not time, George.
The day after Thanksgiving sale at Kmart.
It's time, George. Time.
Everyone's getting up for the savings.
It's time.
The day after Thanksgiving sale starts at 7 a.m. at Kmart, the saving place.
Robert Warren is no stranger to the music industry. He has worked as a composer, a lyricist, and arranger for 50 of his 70 years. And now he's embarked on a new road, recording his own songs on a recently released album called Insanity. Robert Warren is here at the piano with us this morning, and he is joined by Jay Leonhardt, accompanying him on bass. And Jay, welcome back. You were here, I know, the first time in about 1952 when you were 5 years old playing the banjo with Dave Garroway.
Jack Lescula, yes, thank you.
Very good.
Nice to be back.
Why Insanity? That's a strange name for an album.
I'll tell you, John, back in '73 when Nixon fired the fellows, I danced all the way home with a newspaper, and I started to write where Haldeman, Ehrlichman, Mitchell, and Dean, the way we've been treated is really
that was a biggie.
Ever since then, I look around and see this crazy world, and as I walk around New York or ride around New York and see all this crazy, I just keep writing things to keep my sanity.
Now, you started this in April, and you went through, and you just finished in August, right? You spent a long time on this.
Well, a funny thing happened after the April session. I found out I had pancreatic non-operable cancer and now in the liver, but I figure if laughs can beat something, and if you can make people laugh, it's the best medicine in the world.
I like your
Anything
spirit.
will cure it. That'll do better than all the doctors.
Like your attitude. You, as you say, have dealt with political satire. We've got a pretty interesting situation going now for you. Is this fertile meat, the Iranian-Contra connection?
Oh boy.
Are you into that?
you are about to hear. Incidentally, the cover on the album was done by a fellow named Fred Gwynn. Who? Herman Munster, who was an art major at Harvard, and why do I need my picture? He drew the classic Don Quixote on it. And we're having so much fun with this whole thing.
Let's listen to some of this.
Well, there's snow the year around for the cocaine waltz. Both feet are off the ground in the cocaine waltz. You'll get to see the universe distorting. You never knew until the day you started snorting. And a peen of praise to the new American religion. Ooh, what's calculated to bring out the worst and never the best of the breed? What makes you start Christmas October the 1st? Greed, greed, greed. What makes you act any old way you see fit with no silly scruples to heed? What makes you trade inside instead of legit? Greed, greed, greed. And a word about our latest road game. If it's your firm that's taken over and you're the one to get the boot, don't worry, you'll wind up in clover thanks to the golden parachute. All that you will ever need to guarantee that you succeed is pure disdain for others' pain together with ruthless greed. And you're ready to do the takeover tango, remembering that it always takes two. And of course, a tribute to the new American phenomenon, the yuppie. Get along, little Volvo, little SL Mercedes. Them foreigners sure make a great set of wheels. Fact is, we'd sooner be dead or in Hades than own us American automobiles. Young and urban and upwardly mobile, professional all the way. Upscale's our goal, and we're on a roll. Yippee, yuppie-yi-yay. And of course, the title song. The year of '81 saw Reagan make a fatal error. He beat his manly breast and vowed he'd rid the world of terror. He first laid all the blame on Carter for Iran, and then went out and fixed it so it's hitting the fan. He swore he'd never make a deal, not one you'd really call one. Besides, it was a secret, and that load of arms a small one. So small, in fact, the Contras now are giving thanks. They've got a fat account in one of Switzerland's banks. Insanity. Sing along, insanity. It's enough to drive a person to profanity. It seems the whole world's mad except for just us two, and I'm not too sure about you. Ivan Boesky didn't dream he'd ever get in trouble until the SEC got wise and pricked his golden bubble by ratting on his closest pals and turning Fink So far he's kept his freedom and avoided the clink. For now he's off the hook and can't be blamed for feeling happy, since all they really did was give his wrist a little slappy. And though the feds relieved him of $100 million, don't cry for him, he's still got plenty more in the till. Insanity, it's insanity, and enough to drive a person to profanity. It seems the whole world's mad except for just us two, and I'm not too sure about, not secure about, not too sure about you. You want some insanity very quick?
Robert, listen, thank you for bringing us cheer on a Thanksgiving
well, I've got
morning.
A lot to be thankful
and
for.
sanity with your album Insanity.
I've got to be thankful that I reached 70 plus 1 next month, and that I can live in a country where I can sing my mind and not get sent to gulag.
Indeed. Before we go, I want to give a phone number. It's 1-800-222-WILD.
222-WILD.
Costs $11. There you see it on the screen.
Everything paid, and
we got to go now.
2 days. No,
Happy
6
Thanksgiving.
Weeks. Happy Thanksgiving.
Time now
to you,
for a
Joe.
station break. Cheers.
Thank you.
Home Movies by Michael J. Fox, Diane Sawyer, and Terry Garr.
It smells like prime time in here, doesn't it?
David Letterman's second annual Holiday Film Festival, Friday after Miami Vice.
For Christmas this year, gifts of lasting beauty from the fantastic toy shop of Kissel Interiors Design Gallery, the store for important gift giving. Regency Center, downtown Green Bay.
Hoopin' with the Flyers at 6.
The old-fashioned stuffing season begins in earnest today with Thanksgiving dinner and will continue through Christmas. And since turkey is a standard attraction, Diane Thomas says the individuality is best expressed in the dressing. So Diane is here to give us a taste of the latest in turkey fashion.
That's right. We've even dressed a turkey for the occasion, Jane.
With shoes.
That's right, all the way to the bottom. You know, dressing is something that's really special, and it's kind of a tradition what you have in your family, but I think it's interesting to see what other people have across the country. They may have an oyster dressing. That's usually done on the East Coast. A lot of people in the South go with a cornbread dressing. So you can see this and a little bit of corn in there. One that is really interesting is a vegetable dressing. Perhaps you haven't thought of this before, but that can go into the turkey or be cooked as a side dish as a dressing. Or the rice and the wild rice dressing. That is a delicious one. That's nice to go along with your goose or duck if you choose to have that for Thanksgiving. And one of my favorites is a fruit dressing. This has the dried fruits like apricots and some apples and raisins and nuts. Just some nice, really good things inside of it.
That I had never heard of. That looks good.
It is good. Now, when you cook the turkey, one of the challenges is carving the turkey when you get through. So when you take that out of the oven...
Call somebody into the kitchen and make them do it.
There you go, Jane. But you could do it, and it would be easy. What you do is take it out and let it sit for about 20 minutes and let the juices set up. And then if you'll carve and take off the leg and just remove the leg out, then take the wing off, and then with your knife, there's a bone right down the center of the turkey. So just cut right down and just slowly go right underneath, right next to the bone,
yeah.
Go all the way to the bottom so you can lift the breast meat out. And as you see, I've set it on a breadboard over here. And I just slice that up into really nice slices, and then you slice the dark meat and put it in there.
Can I turn that just so people can
There you go.
see?
All the really nice slices. Now, if you have problems, we have a phone number that you can call. It's the Turkey Talk line. And you can call them up until 6 o'clock tonight or all the way to Thanksgiving.
So this is the next best thing to calling Mother. Do we have the Turkey Talk line number?
There we go.
Yes, we do.
It's 1-800-323-4848. Just call them and they'll help you if you have problems with your dressing or if your gravy goes lumpy or something like that. They'll be glad to help you.
Enough with the guys. All right, Turkey Talk line. Before they come back again.
You know, Jane, we do celebrate this as the holiday that the Pilgrims landed in America, but often we don't stop and think of what little they had. They probably would have had a goose, a turkey, or a duck. It would have been stuffed with what they call pudding in the belly. And this is just a bread dressing with pine nuts in it. And then as you can see, their simple plate would have been either the goose or the turkey or the duck, beets, parsnips, turnips, cornbread. They didn't have any leavening at that time, so it was a really little flat piece of cornbread. And they invited Indians. There were 90 Indians that showed up out of the 140 people, and they had venison. They brought 5 deer. They cooked it into venison. And that day, Jane, there were only 5 women fixing the whole Thanksgiving dinner, so it was a busy time.
Five women cooking for everybody.
That's right. A 3-day celebration, but I know it was...
Lo, it was ever thus.
That's right.
Diane Thomas, a happy Thanksgiving to you.
And thank you. You too.
And to you. Hope your turkey turns out. We'll be back after this.
Presenting the Oster Coffee Maker with flavor-tight insulated pot. Now your coffee can stay hot and fresh tasting for hours. Oster makes it flavor-tight, flavor-right.
Oh, wouldn't it be nice?
4 years ago, Ford Escort became the world's best-selling car. And over those years, we've improved its engine, suspension, and interior. There is one thing, however, we couldn't improve upon. For 4 years running, it's still the world's best-selling car. This is Escort.
Now, get 3.9% financing or $300 cash back from Ford.
What do you know?
Cranberries, raspberries, together, that's what.
Do what do you know?
Cran raspberry.
With whatever we do. You, what do you know?
Raspberry cranberry drink.
For you. No, what do you know?
It's good for you. The unique cranberry has essential things your body needs. And it's...
Ocean spray!
That's all I need to know.
And wait till you taste it.
What do you know?
Cran raspberry. It's good for you, America, from Ocean Spray.
I am losing control. I have a TV remote, a cable remote, a VCR remote. Doesn't anybody make a TV with one remote control for everything?
Sure. Magnavox. This one comes with the universal remote. It controls the Magnavox TV and just about every brand of wireless VCR and cable.
A Magnavox controls Sony.
And Zenith, and RCA, and Panasonic, and...
I'll take the Magnavox, and you can take these.
The universal remote, it's 3 controls in one. Nobody puts it together like Magnavox.
Jen, you remember earlier when you delivered that public service message?
Yes, that was almost an hour ago, asking people at your house here in New York to please baste the turkey.
Well,
and
the good news is they were watching the show.
That's terrific.
The bad news is they weren't paying attention. So they heard you say something about the turkey.
I see.
But the turkey didn't get basted.
Well, I'm sure maybe you can go to a backup, but it's a lovely day anyway. You could have duck or something, Jane. You know.
You could have scrambled eggs. There's Garfield. I wonder what Garfield's going to have Thanksgiving dinner. For one thing, a beautiful day. Not a cloud in the sky over Central Park West in New York City for the Macy's parade that kicks off in minutes. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Monday, the Emmy-winning movie of the year, an all-star cast and a special holiday presentation. Love is Never Silent. Monday.
You're not going to believe the incredible selection of golf items at the Golf Shack. Now do you believe me?
In Thursday's paper, find 24 pages of super gift savings and Friday-only bonus buys. It's Boston Store's Thanksgiving sale. Friday through Monday, save 25% on our entire stock of Cuisinart food processors and attachments. Great Hush Puppies fleece for kids, and this roomy Genesis sweater. Save 25% on men's cotton sweaters, too. What a price! Mrs. Novelty Sweaters, $19.99. And you can still get Jingle Bear while supplies last. The Thanksgiving sale, Friday through Monday at Boston Store.
For years, people have used white coffee filters by the thousands without giving them a second thought. But now there's a good reason to think twice. Introducing new Natural Brew coffee filters. One big difference is color. But an even bigger difference is what you can't see. White filters are bleached white with chemicals. Natural Brew filters aren't. So, if you enjoy good coffee, which one makes more sense to you?
WLUK 11 Green Bay.